Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our second day of podcast. And today we're going to have a special guest who is a person that used to play basketball with me like years ago. It was one of the best guards of my city. Gotta say, the guy is incredible. He has a very nice background. Now he's living in the US, he has a family there. And there are so many things for we talk about today. And it's gonna be all in English for you guys. Practice your listening and increase your vocabulary. All right. Also, the chat will be on. Okay. Anything you guys wanna ask him, just send the chat and I'm gonna call him now. There he is.
Hey,
How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Pretty good. First of
Kind of
all,
shy sometimes, Sometimes my
sorry?
speaking gets stuck. I'm kind of
Uh,
shy.
no,
My
come
first
on.
time
I
here in our
I'm
lives.
sure I'm sure you're not because I follow you on Instagram. Like you have a very nice way to talk to people through your
Not that
heels,
much.
through your stories. I think that's pretty awesome. But I first of all, sir, I want to say thank you for coming, like for accept this idea. I think this is pretty awesome because the idea is, of course, for the guy like who is watching us, listen to us in English, practice their English, but more than that, like beyond that, to get to know your background, okay, your experience abroad, and also to encourage more people to do what you have done probably or something like that because in my opinion like I never lived abroad, and I think that's a pure brave action, like
Thank you very much.
because this is something we can get started like your case was a bit different, right? Because the most cases that I know was like a guy or a girl or they were dating or they were married and they left the country, but your case it was different because you had already have already had a child here. So I think
Yes,
that was like so different from you from your experience, that one, right?
yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
Actually, Joaquin, first of all, thank you very much, Chicharito, to invite me over to be here to attend this podcast with you. I'm very happy to be here and also very happy to talk with you because we haven't talked for a long, long time, right?
For years, man, for years.
4 years, yes, for sure. But yeah, talking about myself, I mean, Joaquin, which is my first son, actually, he was um, the main purpose that made me and my wife to take that, um, you know, decision to go to US, to come to US and start a new life from the ground,
Really?
really, because before I got married, 100 times in years ago, I do have a lot of friends who live in US and different states than I live, and I was always being invited to come to US, and try a new life. But my answer for those guys on that time was no, because my parents, they are already older, they are living the elderly, uh, uh, already, so I don't want to leave them behind. But once Joaquin's born, me and my wife started to see uh, everything what's was happening in Brazil on that time. Something that really made us to decide to really go to US, and we'll see what's gonna happen. God is with us,
Hmm.
and let's try it. The worst
Wow.
case scenario, I told her, the worst case scenario is like if you stay in the US for 5 years, the worst case scenario should be me, you, and Joaquin go back to Brazil, speaking English fluently. That was my idea on that time.
Hmm. Exactly, because you guys had already home, right? Like if something goes wrong, you guys, as you said, like the word thing, go back home.
Yeah, exactly. You
Exactly.
know, and
Got it.
at the same time, I was like thinking a lot about my business in Brazil. I wasn't that very happy. I was actually thinking to change my career and something like that. And but at the same time, I talked with my partner, which most of you guys know, Lucas Olin, which is a very good guy, my friend, my brother. And I talked with him, and I was like, man, I should make something different for my life. And I really want to try new things,
Mm-hmm.
whether if I'm going to US or not. I just want to try something new. I'm
Got it.
I'm feeling like stuck right now.
And at this part, like that, you felt like you were like dismotivated at work. You are already a father or not?
Yes, I was.
Got it. Got
Yeah, I
it.
was. Yeah, Joaquin already has like on that time 1 year, almost
Ah,
1 year, something
he
like that.
was he was 1 year. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then like you and your wife were talking about like the possibilities. You and your wife will talk about like the possibilities to leave Brazil and go to US. Always was US.
Yes, actually, there was another, you know, place which was Canada as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't like it, the cold weather,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Got it.
Then I was like, let's try our visa to US. If something not works, then we can try to go to Canada first. But my choice always was US and always was California. I don't know why, but
Because of the
now,
weather.
sorry?
Because of the weather.
Actually, I didn't know on that time how good is the weather right here.
Got it.
If I knew this weather before, I think I'm supposed to be in US like 10 years ago already. I really love the weather from California. But the other thing was like California, I've always been to some um, different sports like rollerblading, play basketball with you, something like that. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, so California should be a better place for us. And yeah, that was the decision we
Got
made in that
it.
time. And thank to the Lord, we are here right now.
Got it. And like, all right. So because I have heard many stories like how I had some students that live where you are now, right?
Yes,
And they have like told me like how they had this idea, how they plan. But your case was different, right? You had a child,
yes,
and you said like your parents were here, so it's like their first grandchild.
yes. No, not
Yeah,
first, but first from me, right?
yeah, yeah. So like take from them, they have like that. They have like that.
Yes.
I'm sure that it wasn't an easy decision, or wasn't.
Not for sure, not at all. But one thing that I did, it was to talk a lot with my parents. You know, I was like, at the meantime, I'm still here in Brazil. I will bring my son over every day to enjoy with you guys, to have some memories with you,
Hmm.
and also I talked with them about our decision. I was like, Dad, you already leave the place that you used to live when you born to come to the city and try new life. So for me it's kind of the same thing. The difference is that I'm going a little further,
Hmm.
but I was like, I really appreciate what you guys have done for me, you know all my life, but I really need to try new things in my life.
Got it,
And
man.
they were like, if that is your decision, we blessed you, go
Hmm.
ahead. And that was more comfortable for me when I had that conversation with them. You know?
Got it. I see.
Yeah.
And it was like the three of you board the plane and when?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple
Wow.
couple couple weeks ago, Mayara and I was taking a look on some pictures on that time, and Joaquin was so, you know, was so
Baby.
small, so baby. We are like
How old was he?
crazy or what? Because I don't think you're gonna make the same thing if the time was now.
How old was he when you guys arrived?
When we arrived in US, he was 1 year and eight months.
1 year and 8 months. Got
Hmm.
it. And then, like, okay, you guys made a decision. You guys had your visa. You guys board the plane,
Yeah.
and you guys arrived in Los Angeles. You guys
No,
arrived.
no, we landed first in Houston,
Okay.
in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
because we had to do the connection in there, right?
Okay. Got
And
it.
then we flew to San Francisco airport.
To San Francisco.
Hmm.
And then, man, share because this part for me was like the most curious thing, the most interesting thing. Like the first week, the first days, like you had a child, how well, like you guys enjoy like the first month, or you guys were straight to work. You guys found like easy jobs, like quick jobs. How was it?
Yeah, I mean, has always been God, because we arrived here. Evelyn, Vinny, and their Vinny's parents and Vitor, they were here already, but they live like 1 hour from our home now,
Got
so
it.
it's not too close, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on that time, Mayara had a cousin that was living more in the East Bay, which where we are living now. And he and his wife used to be a roommate with another young couple guys that we didn't know on that time, but those guys were amazing with us because they said to Danilo is Mayara's cousin, don't let them try to rent something through the internet or something like that. Let him let them that they can stay right here for a couple days until they figure out the stuffs. And then after that they will make the decision where to live, how to live, you know and stuff like that. And
Wow,
that
pretty cool, man. Pretty
very
cool.
cool. Yeah, I really appreciate those guys. God bless them, because they didn't know me, even Mayara, and we had a child, and we lived in their uh, um, living room for 1 month. It's supposed to be only
The three of you,
days, but we lived in there like 1 month.
the three of you in the living room.
Yeah, in the living room. Yeah, the guy, his name is Brenner, and his wife is Jessica. They like made some division their living room, and we put some um, our. I just sometimes I got blank. Okay,
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Come on, don't
so
worry.
the mattress on the
Mm-hmm.
ground, and there we stayed for 1 month.
One month.
And that was very good also because Jessica and Danilo's wife, which is Talita, helped Mayara to figure out and to do something that was really we need to do on that time. Like, they were very helpful with us. They brought us to the bank to open a banking account. They brought us to the DMV, which is the place that we applied for our driver license in the US. So yeah, they really helped us a lot. And then um, Brenner's cousin was building a studio. Right here, a studio is like one room only with one bathroom. Okay,
Got it.
just for
Got
you
it.
guys to figure out what it is. But here in the US is very popular, this kind of place, and he was building a brand new one. And Brenner told me, so if you want to to meet my cousin. I can introduce you guys, and if you like the place, you can like make a deal with him, and you guys can be even closer with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because was almost the same neighborhood,
Got it.
Yeah, and then I went there. Then the guy was, as I said, building his house and doing stuff. And I was like, "Hey, you work in the construction area?" And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Don't you have a job for me?" And he was like, "What do you know about construction?" And I said, "Nothing." But I can learn,
Mm-hmm,
I can
mm-hmm.
learn. And then I also
And this
thought,
like how many days were you there already?
well, 2 days. I think on the second day.
Second day.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we arrived. It was Thursday, I think. That conversation I had with him on Friday, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then um, on the coming Monday, I started to work with him in the construction.
Nice. So you work with construction.
Yeah, and then
Cool.
1 month after that, he finished at the studio, and then we moved to the studio to live by
So like
ourselves.
you kind of help him to build the studio that you were gonna live.
Yes, as
Pretty
well.
cool. Pretty cool. So you were like, hey, like do that
I
well,
was
you
painting,
know?
as I was painting, I was cleaning stuff, and I was like, that's pretty crazy because I'm kind of building my place.
I see, man. I see.
Yeah.
And how long did you work like in the construction field?
Only couple months because after that the pandemic started. If
Which
yeah,
you guys went like in 2019 or 2020?
2019. Yeah,
2019?
October 2019, and the pandemic starts on March 20,
March. Yeah,
2029.
because it was crazy. I was scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, I don't remember, and then I saw like you post a picture. I think you and Mayana, and there was like the localization there. I said, really? Pool is there. I said, don't believe. And then after like South is so small, right? And then like a couple of days later, I met my brother. Remember my brother?
Yes, for sure.
Remember? And then he said, "Hey, did you see that Pooh is abroad?" You know, I said, "Yeah, that's true, that's true." So it was pretty nice. I remember like when you post some. I don't remember the peak, but I remember you post. Say, "That's cool, that's cool." And Pooh was there. And then like you guys arrive, you find a job like real quick, like the second day, third day. But tell us like, did you and Maria and Mayara speak English at that time?
No,
Zero.
zero. Actually, I could understand something, but in terms of speaking, it was zero. And also listening, my listening was very bad on that time. So I had this guy is amazing as well. He's a closest friend. He helped me actually before I come to US for 2 months. He helped me to like overcome the I was like afraid of talk, of speaking. And this
That
guy helped,
fear.
yeah, and this guy helped me to overcome the situation, and starts to spell some words. And he was like helping me on how to construct some sentence on that time. But the crazy thing is, yeah, he helped me a lot. He was like something very important for me to become speak English as well. And when we arrived here, we went to the Walmart, Walmart, a grocery store. We went there, and I started to hear a lot of people speaking Spanish. I was like, where am I? Am I in US or am I in Mexico, Argentina? Where am I? But the crazy thing is because California is too close to Mexico, right? So there's a huge Mexicans and Hispanic community in California, right? But I didn't know that on that time. And also people tells that California was part of Mexico before back then, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many years.
Years ago, yeah, have you heard about that?
Yeah, and then that's why a lot of um, street names are in Spanish. You know,
Oh, that's
everywhere you
cool.
go, the people that is making the attendance, they speak English and Spanish as
Spanish.
well. Even though if you go to the bank or to the grocery store, whatever, wherever you go, there are people speaking English and Spanish. Yeah,
Crazy, huh?
yeah,
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's
And the
crazy.
craziest thing is that you start like I was trying to improve my listening by watching some series, right? Netflix and stuff like that. And okay, mostly of the series they are, you know, native from US, like
Mm-hmm.
the actors, you know. And when you arrive in the California, you start to hear like Mexicans speaking English, you know,
So the accent is like is confused. They confuse and
confused.
everything.
Yeah. And then also you hear like people from the Middle East, which speaks Arabic or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They speaking English. You see a lot of Asian people speaking English. So and they all are have a have accent most of the time, you know, and
Accent.
then you start to realize I don't think I know English at all. You know?
But Pooh, like I think that's in my opinion, as I said, like everything that I'm gonna ask in here, I'm gonna say in here is what I think, you know.
Hmm.
But what I believe, I think this is one of the nicest thing living abroad because
Yeah,
you can talk to American, like Native American, you
Native
can
American.
talk to Brazilian, like who speak English, Mexican, Philippines. I know that there are many there, right?
Man.
So I think that's the greatest thing when you live or study abroad for like a couple of months or weeks.
Hmm.
You have English as a tool. You can talk to anyone, you
Exactly.
know, I always say, and to all my students to on Instagram, that I say that like you speak English is kind of an independence because you really can talk to anyone. But it's a nice thing because you can hear like lots of different accent, you know,
Yeah.
intonation. You know, I have one student, he has traveled to Guyana, you
Hmm.
know, and they have like their own English there, you know. And one of the nice thing he said like he went to a restaurant and the waiter he asked him if he wanted chickini, and it was chicken, but he said it was chickini, you know. So look like how hard is that to get, you know.
Yeah.
But this
Exactly.
is pretty cool. This is pretty
Yeah.
cool. Just like for you guys that are watching us alive, like Amanda said hi, hello Amanda. There's in here, what's up? Hey ho, Hafa from California. I don't know Hafa, but I think you know. There
Hafa.
is like yeah, like Davila Lupas. He's naming here. He's Hafa from California. He's saying hello, and you guys can ask questions. Okay, in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna send here. You guys can interact with us in the chat. So all right, so you guys arrived. Okay, and you found a job, and you guys had no English at that time. You know, and all right, so like so your son, you know, because he was like almost 2 years old,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
He had some Brazilian culture
Yeah.
already, like some habits, some ways of living, family background. And then he was like moved to another place. People didn't speak his like his language. How was that? His transition, because I maybe somebody that's watching us wants to move abroad and like, but I have a daughter, I have a child, and I know many people like, for me like it's impossible now because my wife is pregnant, you know. How was this transition for your son?
I don't think it was hard for him because kids, you know, their brain, it's like clear, everything you teach them they catch like this. And I don't think it was hard for him, because even now Joaquin didn't start to go to school yet, because in the US kids starts to go to school, I mean public school, when they are at least 5 years old, you know
Got it.
and Joaquin just turned 5 last Monday. So now he will start to go to school. But on all that time he was living with us.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed like couple months in a Brazilian daycare, which people speaking used to speak in Portuguese over there, and all the kids were like Brazilians kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't think it was very hard for him. But the thing is, Joaquin knows already at his age, I mean, with the limitation of his age, he can speak English and Portuguese very well. So he's also started to read in English. And I was like, I don't know, Joaquin is kind of, you know,
Damn.
so,
Wow.
yeah. And the thing is, uh, we only have some kind of relationship with Americans when we go out. Like, I if I bring him to the park, you know, places like that. So he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have like a huge group of friends who speak in English for him to practice his English.
Got it.
His English comes from the TV, from the things that he watched, very much, very much.
And when you guys go to restaurant, like he talk like to the waiter, to the waitress.
Yeah, he talked with the waiter, with
Pretty
the
cool.
waitress. He ordered his food.
Nice. I think
Yeah,
this is really important of you and Mayara encourage him like go
yeah,
like order your own food, go there talk. I think this is a
yeah, exactly. And it's he, it's funny. Like last Monday, which was his birthday, right? I do have a friend, a American native friend. His name is Nate, and his son is the same age of Joaquin. A and we not seen we don't see them a lot, you know, but couple times, once a month, every 2 months, something like that. But last time when I went with on his home at his home, was like, wow, Joaquin's English is very good now, because he knew me before even me started to speak English. And
That's
then
great.
as I'm saying, last Monday, Mayara was like telling him what to say through a audio to his friend Kian.
Got
But
it.
he's like he said something totally different.
Like I can talk to myself, like I can talk by
Exactly.
myself.
Very native way to speak. We were like, oh, come on, man.
And because like he's a kid who's like immersed in the language, right?
Mhm.
And so this year he's going to start going to school.
Yeah, this
So
year.
like his English gonna skyrocket, like
Yes, for
in
sure.
2 months, 3 months, you're gonna have like a native in your house.
Exactly.
Definitely, definitely.
Even when kids is older than him, like, because I've talked with a lot of friends which came to US with their kids already, and they were like on that time 8 years old, 10 years old, even 12 years old, and they catch the English from the school very quick, very quick.
Yeah, because they're like there's no
Between
escape.
between 3 to 6 months, they already speaking. You
Yeah,
know,
because they're like there is no escape, right? They
very
need
quick.
to speak. If they want to make friends, they need to speak. So
Exactly,
they're gonna try on their way literally, like how much like they're gonna listen, right? That's gonna be something so natural. That's
exactly.
gonna happen.
Which is
Pretty
hard
cool.
for us as adults, because we don't have that kind of environment to live every day. You know, um, like by myself, I still commit a lot of mistakes when I speak and something like that. But if I don't, find a way to talk with some, with the cashier on the grocery store, or starts to talk with people around, it's very hard because
Exactly.
our tongue is a muscle, right? If you don't practice, on your brain,
Exactly.
you think that you can speak that word perfectly, but when you try to spell it, it's hard.
That's like exactly what I say to students who live where you are, and especially for those that live here where I
Hmm.
am, because here, like there, you can go to the supermarket and you have the opportunity to practice.
Hmm.
Like if you go to Starbucks, you have someone there that you can force yourself to talk.
Yeah,
Students who live in Brazil, it's a bit harder because they need to force themselves to find a way to practice, like listening, speaking, or reading something. So
exactly.
exactly what you said. Our language is a muscle. We need to practice. Absolutely that. And
Yeah.
there's some like about the chatting here.
Oh yeah.
Rafael that said he's from Canada. I know
Yeah.
Rafa. Yeah, I know him. I'm sorry,
For
Rafa.
sure, I know him.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'm so sorry. Douglas in here. Thales,
Douglas,
Thales Macedo, I think you know. I think
Carlos,
you know
yeah,
he is here. Mayara Macedo is here. The wife is here. That's
yeah,
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
that's pretty
So
cool.
okay, so you told
Guys.
us about the transition of your son. That was so nice. And then like after that, like after how many months you start to feel like comfortable, like maybe US is my home, or do let's be better, like do you feel nowadays that US is your home?
I can say yes now. Yeah, I can say yes. Even, I mean, as you said, I have my family with me, right? My wife, now my kids. It's a plural.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
we're gonna talk about that.
yeah, I feel right now. I feel more. I mean, more comfortable to see that this is my house, even though I have to deal with some situations like to find a good food, good Brazilian food.
Really?
It's always a hard thing to do here, especially in California, because if you go to Florida, I mean Orlando, it's a small Brazil in Orlando. The community, the Brazilian community there, it's huge. So you can find a lot of good foods. You can find even
Like
uh,
Brazilian restaurants?
Brazilian restaurants. You can find like Brazilian's grocery store, which you can find goods from Brazil.
Got it.
But in California, it's not that easy, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I do for sure. I do eat Brazilian food at home because I have my wife with me, and she's kind of a master chef,
Nice.
which is good.
I remember if I don't remember like if it was this year last year, but I remember that you guys order pizza there and you record a story like, come on, like you call it you I think even Mark like Martellos from Southern here.
Oh yes,
Come
I'm
on, like
jealous.
bring Martellos in here because the pizza in here we can't stand. You know,
No,
like there
you
was
can
like
say that.
nothing. It was cheese and like I
Yes,
don't know what was
sauce,
it.
cheese. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's not that good,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, like, but
And
Brazil's food
the fun thing is, doesn't matter where you go to eat a pizza. All the place, almost, you know, the flavor is kind of the same.
come on,
Yeah,
come
it
on,
seems
come
like
on,
every pizza restaurants they
it's
use
the
the same
same.
sauce, the same stuffs. Yeah, it's
I'm so
different.
sorry.
Yeah,
Probably the same supplier, so like
yes. Right.
they just
Probably
distribute
depends
like the
yeah,
same one. Got it, man.
yeah.
And then like you were saying like that you kind of feel you are at home now,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
But like people that are watching us that say like, okay, I have plans to move to US. After how many months or what you, Mayara, did like to like, okay, let's, I don't know, leave now, because in my opinion, as I said, maybe my ignorance, I think the first couple of months is pretty
I,
hard for
I
you
can say the first year is hard.
the first year?
The first year is hard. Yeah, because you start to, figure it out stuff, realize what to do, what not to do, the places you go, the places you better don't go. Or I mean, it's different because when you look like at the window, if you are driving, and you see a sign outside, and what is that? What is that? I don't know. You don't know if the place do, for sure restaurants you're gonna very much understand. But I mean, the other kind of companies and retailers, if you only see the sign, or you know under the logo say something at the beginning, you don't know what they really do in there. And all the things is different. The way you buy a car, the way you get your license, the way you pay your taxes, your fees and stuff like that. So everything is different. It's like born again, but you are adult already. you know
Like born and like go,
So,
like come
yeah,
on, work hard for
you have
that
to
guy.
learn how to speak, how to listening, how to how the stuff works. It's
Lots of information at the same
lots
time.
of information. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And
And
and I mean, in the first year, it's harder because your brain trying to protecting you from the things that you don't know, right?
mhm.
And then someday, there is some day that you are like super happy, and with the joy and stuff. And there's some days they were like, oh my gosh, mm, you don't know if you did the right decision or not. It's hard, it's hard.
It's hard.
But
Yeah,
the
for
good
sure.
thing is, when you are a couple like me and Mayara, when I was feeling down, she was helping me to feeling better, and
Correct.
vice versa.
And this, what you said, was exactly what Vinicius and Emily told me. Because I think you remember, like we made a Instagram line,
We were like that. Yeah, I
and
remember.
they said like, if I had come alone, I don't know if I would be here now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because they said it's pretty tough, it's intense. And a couple of days ago, I met Amanda and Thales at the supermarket. They say,
Oh.
"Hey, how was that?" And he said, "Ah, it was pretty awesome." They told me like something about that,
Hmm.
and both said like, he said it like the day looks like the days don't have 24 hours.
Yeah, it's go
You
crazy.
know, it's so crazy. Like everything's go fast. Why is that, man? Do you know how to explain that?
It's hard to explain. I think I'm thinking on that right now, but maybe it's because we are 5 hours behind from Brazil,
Yeah,
and
that's for
then
sure.
for us it's like, imagine you finish your day work, and then you go home, and then you go, do something at home, and then you're like, I want to talk with a friend, or I want to talk with my parents, or I want to talk with someone in Brazil. But oh no, it's too
10
late.
o'clock. It's
you know
11
it's
o'clock.
too late. 11 p.m. in Brazil, midnight in Brazil, so everybody's in the bed already. So what to do? Maybe this brings this feeling that the time here goes really fast, and when we wake up, people in Brazil are already taking their lunch. you know and yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I have a student that our class is like 12:30.
Hmm.
I have my lunch and I come teach him, and he's like, "Good morning."
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
He's
just
rubbing his eye like, "Good morning." So that's crazy. That
yeah,
very
maybe,
nice.
maybe I don't know, maybe you know
Yeah, because everybody that, like my students, they say like, yeah, and here is really crazy. Like we look like, oh, it's already 3 o'clock. It's already like 5 o'clock. So it's something really fast in here. And then tell us like, what do you do now?
Right now, I'm working in a company in San Francisco as IT manager. So I just
Nice.
got this new job, brand new job. I started last Monday.
Ah, wow! Congrats, man. Monday, really? Like last Monday,
Last
like
Monday.
a week
It was my
working there.
it was my second day actually because I will work I will work here 3 times a week. So
Pretty cool, man.
Monday, Wednesday, and
Congratulations.
Friday. Thank you very much.
Pretty nice, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling, super excited. A lot of things to do. I knew this company already, and I already had some kind of relationship with the CEO, the sales director, people like people around here.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm here like pretty much full time. It's different because before they used to hire me like to do some miscellaneous stuff, a
Got it.
month, twice a month,
Got it.
maybe. But right now I'm here
Full
at
time
least three
there.
times. Yeah, at least 3 times a week now.
Pretty nice.
And
And you study English there, right? At school.
yes, my school is in San Francisco, but I have my English classes are 4 times a week:
Mm-hmm.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Only Monday I have to go in person. So the
Got
other
it.
3 days I studied from home.
Got it. I see.
Yeah, using the Zoom.
And then this school you start like since you arrived or
No,
not?
no, no. In the US, it's pretty tough the way you have to try not stay here like without your visa status. So we came as a tourist and then we applied to change our status to student, and
Mm-hmm.
this took like 11 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and then only after that I started to go to the school. Like on April will be 2 years now that I am on that school.
And you started as a beginner there or not?
No, no, because I was doing my best every day. I was keeping pushing myself, like watching
Yeah, like
series, watching
how did you improve? How did you learn English? How did you improve your English without taking classes?
by every day doing something, every day, and I still do it every day, because right now I have no problem by listening. I can people are walking on the street and they are talking. I can understand what they are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have a lot of work to do in terms of learning English because there's a lot of words that I don't know yet, or there's a lot of words that I know but I don't use to put on my conversations that I have to try to push myself to use more those kind of words.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that every day, if I was curious about some subject, I started to do my research in English, watch the video in English, even though I was understanding or not, doesn't matter. I was watching,
Got it. Got it. You see,
and
and this is
this
really
is
cool.
something that is very important for people to do because at the beginning, it's it's tough, it's hard. You want to quit, you want to, I don't want to do
Yeah.
this anymore.
Yeah, I always say like
But
that. There
end
is
of the
nothing. There's not something like English is easy. English is not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. You need
And
to
then,
work hard.
yeah, exactly. And then after, it's like magic. Sometimes you start to understand something that you used to not understand before. And yeah, and then things starts to be clear,
And like
because
in this moment, I'm sorry to interrupt. Like in this moment, when you listen somebody speaking and you say like, I got it, what he said. Ah, it's amazing. Tell me
it's
like that.
amazing. And
Ah,
now
come
you know
on.
what's happening with me right now? It's when I listen to songs, to music, because before, even though, I like to play guitar, I like rock
Mm-hmm.
and roll, that's my, you know, the things that I like the most in terms of music. And when I was young and learning how to play guitar. I used to try to sing the English, the English music, right?
Hmm.
But I was like, I didn't understand what they really, trying to say on that lyrics. But right now, I'm listening to some music, and even though music that I knew already, I mean, I I thought that I knew, you know, I was like, oh, now I know what.
Really, that song that is about
Yeah,
like, and I was
exactly,
listening. That's
exactly,
really
yeah,
cool, man. And I gotta say, guys, that you guys are watching us. This is the first time that I talk to you in English.
yeah,
I never
exactly.
talked to you, and
Yes,
it's your English is really good, man.
thank you
Congrats,
very much. Appreciate it.
because I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is.
It is. It
So
is.
congrats, man. Congrats, because
And the
that's
hardest
amazing.
thing is when oh, I'm going to the US. I'm
Hmm.
gonna live in the US. Okay. I think, you know, I know something in English. I know something about some words, how to spell it. I think I will become a fluent speaker in 3 months, 6 months, But then you go to US and then you are surrounded by Brazilians, and then you get a job and on that job they
Which
are
is
all
okay.
Brazilians. Yeah, no, it's okay, but you know, they are all Brazilians. It's hard, And when I first worked for a American company, I was like doing general stuffs there, and the guy that used to work with me, it was a Mexican guy, a old Mexican guy who doesn't speak English at all. I was like, come on, now I thought that I will have more opportunities to talk in
To
English.
practice.
I have to,
Hmm.
you know, now I have to learn Spanish. I don't want to learn Spanish at all.
And do you speak Spanish now?
Yes, I do.
Pretty cool.
I
Pretty
don't
cool.
know um, how to write, the
Hmm.
words. I only understand them, and I can talk with them, not fluently for sure. It's kind of Portuguese sometimes, but I do speak Spanish like not
That's
bad,
cool.
not bad.
That's cool, man. That's cool. And as Douglas said in here, like I understand you like 90%, but Indian speaking English, that is pretty hard, right? Have you talked
You
to
know what is harder than a Indian people from India speaking English? On that work that I had, my manager was from the North Ireland.
Ooh.
My gosh. Oh my gosh. If he
Mm-hmm.
if he like
Irish.
one example, hey Junior, pick up that tool from the ground from the grind. I was like, what?
The
You
ground.
can grind. And he was like this when they
Mm-hmm. On the ground. Mm-hmm.
oh ground. Got it. And there 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 was a situation in the past. We were having a meeting on that place, and then uh, the woman that worked in the office, she was American, right? And she invited to come to the meeting a American who speak Portuguese. He used to live in Brazil from he's 5 years old until 12 years old or something, but he's American, right? He was in the meeting with us, and this guy from Ireland starts to speak, and he looked at me and said, "Do you understand him?"
Yeah.
I was like,
Like,
"Yes, I do," but
is there
now
a
I do.
translator?
Yeah,
Damn.
and both are native English speakers, but one
Mm-hmm.
American and one
Irish.
British, kind of, from the farm land.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, I know. It must, but as I said, like this is the good, like the nicest thing, the
mhm,
experience. Like you can have like lots of accents around you
yeah,
to share, and also to learn, as I say, ground.
yeah.
It's
And
that's not wrong.
highs, if a highs house, high. It's like
That's
high,
cool, man. That's
crazy.
cool.
Yeah,
So congrats for the English that you achieved, because
I
of
think
course, like the lessons, like the classes, but also like as you said, you're a Brazilian who lived around Brazilians, who worked maybe with or for Brazilians, but then you forced yourself to learn. I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
had
the
to
key.
force myself. Yeah, because
That's the key.
I was like, if I don't force myself to learn this English, I will not go further. I will not achieve my next step or something like that.
You wouldn't be a manager today.
Exactly,
Definitely,
definitely,
definitely, you've been like not at all. Like they would never choose you as a manager there. That's
exactly.
cool, man. And
Yeah, that's
then
I tell everyone, hey, force yourself, force
force
yourself
yourself.
to learn
Exactly.
English, to try to speak. And you know, we sometimes when we are learning English, we kind of put ourselves in a situation that it's not enough. Always, it's not enough. But that's a lie. That's a lie, because I've seen, even though people that are working in the grocery store as a cashier, there's some people in there that their English, it's you know only they only know
Basic.
that thing, not
Mm-hmm.
about that, not over that. Only that thing. So then you don't have to think on that way. Just start to spell. I use the example of my son, or every kid, or when we were kids, because we didn't know the words. We just tried to say something, and our
Mm-hmm.
parents, they used to fix our words, correcting us. And day by day, we started to get better on that situation. And the same thing happens when you are learning a new language. That's the
Exactly. Same
same
thing.
thing. No, you have to start by listening, trying to understand, try to speak some words, even though it's wrong. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
No,
Even
like
though you are
we are
speaking.
not looking for a perfect English. No.
And even though when you are speaking with Americans, they will not ignore you because you don't speak English very well, as you think that you have to in order
Mm-hmm.
to have friends, American friends or something like that. No, they were like, they actually like to try to, you know, help you on that situation. Even though right here I'm a manager in the work, and sometimes some words I don't know, and I have to mimic, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that word. Now I will try to not forget this word anymore, because it's hard. It's hard. Even with me, try to learn English after my 30s.
I see, man. Yeah, but like your English is pretty amazing, man. Like,
Thank you.
congrats for that,
And
but
though,
because that's an
also
achievement.
another tip that is good to do is that don't worry about your accent. Your accent is what you are, and that's it.
Pronunciation is something.
Nobody in the world will judge your English because your accent.
Hmm.
No worry about that.
Yeah, like worry about your pronunciation, which
Exactly.
is okay, but
Yeah.
accent is this is yours. You know,
Exactly.
you don't be ashamed of that. And
Hmm.
then last year you got a new son, right?
Yes.
Now American one, right?
American guy. He's
Pretty
an
cool,
American
man.
guy. Yeah, he can
Pretty
go,
cool.
he can be the president one day.
Exactly. He has this right, right? He has this
Yes.
right. Pretty cool. And tell us, like, how was like a lot of difference, I believe. Pregnancy, have the child, raising kid in US, because Joaquin was 2 years when you guys left. So you raise part of his childhood here and a big part of now in US. But like uh, Matthew, like
No, Mateo.
Mateo, that's right, his name, Mateo, which is like is a very cute kid. You
Thank
know, I
you
see
so
the
much.
pictures. There is very cute.
Thank you.
And how was like pregnancy, like hospital, like having American kid? How is that?
I think the better the better person to answer you that is my wife. But I mean, I was with her all the time on that part. But as I said before, everything is new. The way they do stuff is different. You
Hmm.
know, the way the doctor talk with you is different. The way everything is different, but it's not bad. You know, I mean, women that had their child in Brazil and then had a child here in the US, they say that in Brazil is better. Okay,
Wow.
but in my opinion, for sure, there's two different ways to do the same thing, right? And when you are on your home country, you are with people that speak your own language,
Hmm.
your speak the same language as you speak, right? And everything you know already about something that makes you more comfortable, you know.
Exactly.
And then when you go to different place, different culture, different way to treat the same thing, for sure it's different. And but if it was bad, I mean, kids will start to die every day in the US.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So
Got it.
then, yeah, for sure, one thing that's very different is like in Brazil, the women can choose between have a C-section
Hmm.
or have a natural way, right? In the US, if it is your first son or daughter, whatever, your first kid, they try to force you to have in a natural way, not by a C-section.
Got
Yeah.
it. I see.
And that sometimes is hard for the women because, I mean, in my experience, Mayara in Brazil had a very good experience with the C-section. On the second day, she was walking around
That's amazing.
already. She was good.
Hmm.
But right now in the US, when Mateo was delivered, it was different for her. It was more painful for her than was in Brazil. But yeah, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
see. Okay. And like the doctors, like as you said, was different, because the
The way
doctors
they
like.
talk more, yeah. And sometimes you have to get a translator, you know,
Hmm.
when Mayara was alone, or even though if I was with her, they rather prefer put a translator in the line because they want to make sure that the message was delivered correctly. You know,
Clearly like,
yeah,
hmm,
here,
all
yeah,
the parts know the same thing.
the
Got
same
it.
thing, yeah,
I see.
yeah.
And then like, how is to have an American child?
It's the same actually. The different is he will never be worried about having his visa to do some other place in the world.
Hmm.
It's still, until there, it's still the same way as today, nowadays. Probably, you know, that's the best things, the best thing for him. But
Got it.
yeah,
And like in case of raising, like culture, you know, I don't know, like because when Joaquin was 2 years old, you guys laughed, as you said, like he had some Brazilian's background, the culture of the. Do you feel raising a kid in US, it's harder, it's easier, it's more comfortable? Let's see, let's, talking to someone that wants to take their kids to live in USA, or a father or mother that's watching us. What can you say?
okay. For the fathers and mothers that they are watching us right now, um, the hardest the hardest thing is if you don't have a English to understand the things that you have to do to put them on the school or to get them vaccinated and stuff like that. You know, for the parent is more uncomfortable. You know, but I mean to raise a kid in both ways, I think is the same. It's the same. The different, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when the time
Exactly.
passes. Because even though Joaquin has a Brazilian background, he's more American than Brazilian. You know, the things
Mm-hmm.
that he likes to eat is things that American kids like to eat. You know, so
Exactly.
yeah, the things that he likes to watch is things that American kids likes to watch. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's almost the same for him.
That's
And
cool, man.
the,
That's
the
cool.
big difference for him, it was like he had the opportunity to be surrounded by Portuguese language speakers,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And Mateo will have will have only me and my wife and a couple of friends,
Got
you
it.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's even though it's hard for to keep his Portuguese, you know. He likes he likes to speak Portuguese. We speak in Portuguese with him all the time at home. But I was talking with Mayara, and we can see some difference between a kid from his age, which is living in Brazil only and speak Portuguese only, and the difference with him, like with okay, it's cool. He already know how to speak Portuguese and English, but sometimes he translated his Portuguese from English.
Give us an example like that.
Like
Like,
a simple example is like when he say about adjectives, like this is a black iPhone. Okay, so in Portuguese he will say, "Isso é preto iPhone."
got it.
Yeah, he will not speak like iPhone preto.
Mm-hmm. I
You know,
see, man.
yeah, that's the differences between his Portuguese. Sometimes he do that, and then we correct him. You know, to try to. But we will have to work hard to keep his Portuguese. Also, like um, teaching him how to write. You know,
Mm-hmm.
how to read or how to to put together the words to form a sentence, stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just like we are almost going to the end, but at the beginning of our talk, you said that Joaquin was the who inspired you, Mayara, decide to go to Brazil, to US. Can you like I don't know if this is personal, it's not like, but could you share to us like how did he inspire you? Like what you guys were looking for?
So we were looking for a place more safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which we could give for him a better educational background. Can I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, and also the things in Brazil was expensive, you know. Then
It hasn't changed, okay?
yeah, very much right
It
now.
hasn't changed,
Yeah, unfortunately. So I
unfortunately.
think that's why. So I was talking with a friend of mine. He lives in the US, but he lives in the East Coast in Massachusetts. And his son is 8 years old, 9 years old, or 10 years old. I don't remember. Between 8 and 10 years old. And in the school, they gave to him a tablet, right? A computer. And in the school, he is learning how to code in
Public school?
public school. And he's learning how to fix virus on tablets or smartphones. What I mean by that, when he becomes like 18 years old, he's already ready to get a job,
He has skills enough.
you know? So that's something very hard in Brazil to get. Even though with the English is, I'm talking about English as well because as I'm saying, I didn't spend any money so Joaquin knows how to speak English and read English. Can you imagine how much money
Zero
I would
invest.
spend if I was in Brazil?
School materials and stuff.
you know.
Thousands.
So those things was something that kind of inspired us in the past to take that situation, to take that position and to take that decision to come to US.
Got it. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
In like
And like
2 years.
one more thing, just to
No, sure, sure.
complement that idea, is that like last Tuesday, I went home and Mateo was eating like rice and salmon at the lunch. I was like, come on, man. The first time that I ate salmon, I was
Like I
20,
don't remember the last time that I ate it. Like
you know,
example.
it's something like, it's not because we are rich, it's just because we can buy, you know, that's it.
Exactly.
Those things made us sometimes mad about the situation in Brazil. But
Hmm.
I love Brazil. Brazil is my home country. You know, uh, I miss a lot Brazil. I miss my family. I miss my friends. I miss my comfort that I used to have. I miss, going in the street and see everywhere people that I know. Hey, poo, la, la, la. So I miss all those stuff. Friends calling to my phone, inviting me to do something. I miss all those stuff. I miss a lot Brazil. But for now, I think the best thing to do is to keep in the U.S. Raise Mateo, raise Joaquin here, Mayara. The next step is to put her to go to the college in the U.S. So that's our next goal, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
you
tell
kind
people,
of
sometimes I tell people, I lived 30 and some years already in Brazil. Let's live 30 more years right here, and then I will, you know,
you kind of answer my question because the next question will be like, you're moving back to Brazil or not?
no,
No.
no. I mean, who knows God's plan, right? But
Like your plan?
my plan, my family plan, if we could like bring all our family here, we should do that.
I see,
But it's
man.
not that easy. But anyway, yeah, you know,
Pretty
that's
cool.
it.
So US, you feel like home. You
Yeah,
feel
I'm feeling
comfortable.
I'm
That's
feeling
cool,
home.
man.
The
That's
best
cool.
thing for me, this is a joke. Don't be mad with me.
Come
Is
on.
to not, you are on the street and you don't listen to funk anymore. you know, sertanejo,
Like a
in
person
your
with motorcycle, no, 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 no. Like you don't listen to that. Got it.
not,
Okay.
not, not.
I see.
So yeah,
I see.
that is a joke, but you know,
I feel you. I feel you. I understand what you mean. Exactly what you mean.
yeah,
Exactly what you
because
mean.
actually the words has it power itself, right? And those kind of music, unfortunately, most of them that we are here in the street, it's bad words, bad
Hmm.
situations, and unfortunately, those things, goes into the kid's brain, and
Keep it there.
keep in there.
And sure.
So, so
All right.
yeah,
And so like we're about to finish. Someone that is listening, that is watching us live, we're gonna watch that later, and is planning, considering to move to US. Okay, like maybe I think I can do that. Move there, live some years there, or with family or not, or going single. Some tips for this person. If you could
okay,
talk to this person, like what this person should do, should plan. What can you say, man?
okay. The first thing that the people has to have in mind is that no matter what you are in Brazil in terms of your position, you know, in terms of your background, all those things at the first doesn't matter at all. You know, you have to be humble. You have to, think that most of the time you have to do something that you really don't like to do. And probably you will never do that if you are in Brazil, you know. That's something that people has to keep in mind. Have to keep in mind because, you know, sometimes people come and they don't have this in mind, and this kind of keep kind of keep them frustrated, you know.
Like
So
in Brazil, I was
yeah,
in that position. Now I work with that.
yeah, and a lot of people will tell you that what you were in Brazil, right here doesn't work. That's another lie, because when I started to talk with some Brazilians in here, and I was like, in Brazil, I'm a tech guy, I'm from IT, all my background. Oh no, right here, you will never have that kind of job or something like that because the immigration situation, it's hard. Blah, blah, blah. All this is a lie. I was my Ara is watching us, and she knows that sometimes I took that true, you
Hmm.
know. But thank to the Lord, I have her in my side, and have we talked a lot, and he was like, "No, you will have a job like what you with the background that you have, you know. Just we have to be patient, patient, and
Process,
then
right?
do the things right." No matter if you go to construction or if you go to deliver foods, whatever, do the things right. Try to make connections, try to make friends, try to improve your English the best as you can every day. And the doors will start to be opening for you. And then you can, yeah, and then you can probably achieve this. But yeah, I think the most important tip, if I have to tell you guys, is that you have to be humble and for forget your background for a bit, just for a bit, you know, because you probably will have some jobs, as I said, that you don't like it with people that has way, beyond in terms of um, intelligence or background, because there's a lot of people that came to US and they came from the countryside, from the farm. You have to deal with those kind of people as well sometimes, and we have to be humble, humble ourselves. And okay, I have to learn, I have to do what I have to do, and that's it, you know. And sometimes takes more time, sometimes takes less time, but as soon as you have this in mind, you will not be frustrated when you come to US and start, to build your new life. Because as I said, everything is new. The culture is new, the language is new, the way they do stuff is new. The job you're gonna do probably is gonna be something new for you. So everything is new. Everything.
Like a person needs to go like with a really open mind, like to learn and think, because I believe you're talking about that like this 1 hour, like going to US, moving, not exactly US, but in your case, I think you get so much mature, right?
Oh, for sure. For
It
sure.
changes so many things, I believe.
Definitely. Definitely.
That's
Yeah,
right.
if I only this thing which seems like be uh little, it's large. If I have to go to Brazil tomorrow, I'm a, I'm a totally different person right now.
with a
You know,
different mindset, different opinions.
different everything, everything,
That's
everything
cool.
is new.
That's cool.
This is very good. It's
That's amazing.
hard, as I said, for the first year at the most. It's very hard, but
It's worth it.
it's worth it. Yeah, for me, worth it. And as I'm saying, I have my family with me. I have my kids with, whether when I was working something that I didn't like it, I had to make it happen because I had someone counting with me.
Mm-hmm. For
And
sure.
then you do.
Kind of.
That's why for me was good. to come
Hmm.
with my wife and my son on that time. Because people who come alone, come by themselves, it's more likely to give up, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe.
makes so much sense.
Yeah, maybe.
Makes
But
so much sense.
when you really put your plans on the paper, write down on the paper your plans, your goal, you know, you have to remember that. You know, oh, today it's a hardest day ever. Don't worry.
Remember
You
why
were
you're doing
so
that.
good. You were there now, not here. So then
Hmm.
remember yourself every day why you choose to come to US or whatever or another country. Try to remember yourself every day. You know,
Do you like all these years there? Do you still sometimes have this feeling like, "Ah, what am I doing here?" Or
no,
not? Not anymore.
no,
That's
not
great.
anymore, not
That's
anymore.
great. That's great.
Yeah, I'm talking about myself. I don't know if for
Hmm.
my art is different or for someone else is different, but for me, I don't have that feeling anymore. You know,
Amazing. Amazing.
because as I said, we should always following our plan, which was move to US, learn English, go to the college, get a job, you know, and we are doing on our
Hmm.
time, on the actually on the God's time, we are doing everything, you know, and this make us more, comfortable in terms of I knew already that's not it wasn't be something like this, like
Quick. Hmm.
quick,
Yeah.
not at all.
Absolutely. Amazing. Like what a talk. Like almost 1 hour 20.
See,
I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in
uh,
this talk. Really, I've learned a lot. And
thank you, Italo. I
many
learned a
things
lot.
I'm gonna think about that because I talk about myself. Like sometimes Saturday night we talk like, what if?
What
You
if?
know, what if, but we are still in the what if stage, we haven't passed that way. So we say,
That's
what
okay.
if,
That's
what
okay.
if, and we talk that a little. And students talk to me like all the time, like, I'm thinking about it. What do you think? And I, I don't know how to say. I say
I
like, well,
mean,
if
in
with
my
the
opinion, they,
experience,
they are already on the right path, like learning English.
learn English.
Yeah, this is something that for sure it will
Would
help a
helps
lot,
a lot when
help
somebody
a lot. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, like
Mm,
so that's
no
was a
doubt.
great talk, man. Was a great talk. Thank you so much again because it was amazing. If somebody like really intended to move to US, exactly, I think this talk 1 hour and 20, I think everything this person needs to learn English, to practice their listening, and to take some notes. Like what this person needs to do. The case where you said like being humble, forget your background in Brazil. I think that's amazing what you said, and I think this is what really should be, and some people need to work on themselves, that which is hard,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Which is really hard. I think one of the hardest thing.
Hmm.
But man, thank you so much. Really, I appreciate it a lot. I hope you guys are watching us live and enjoyed. If you guys have any other questions, you guys can send in here. Gilberto is with us.
Oh, my
Remember?
brother Gilberto.
Exactly
Yeah,
was with us. So it was a really great. And tell us, like, just for we finishing, your parents have visited you there or not yet?
not yet. We will start to work on their passport and visa this year.
Got it.
So I'm already 3 years and 2 months without hugging my dad and my mom, which is also something really hard sometimes,
Hmm.
you know. But I don't think on that much. I do the best I can do being here. I mean, I call them every day. I try to talk with them every day for minutes, sometimes hour. I put my kids to talk with them. So that's the best I can do from here. You know,
Hmm.
and hopefully this year we're gonna work on their visa and stuff, and probably they will be able to come and visit us because
And
Mayara is, yeah,
hug their grandchild, right? Because they haven't met,
yeah,
right?
exactly. And Mayara Mayara's mom, like my mother-in-law, is lucky because thank God she got his visa last year and came like,
Yeah.
and she will come again this year. So his brother and his sister-in-law, her brother and her sister-in-law also came, you know,
Mhm.
and we spent very good time together. But by my side, it's
It's
it's not
coming. It's coming, man. It's coming. You're
coming.
right. The time is coming.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah, that's
awesome.
the thing, you know. As I said, my mom is 74 already. My dad is 82 already. So I know that things could can help sometimes, you know. And you try to be prepared, but you are never prepared
Yeah,
for those moments.
we're never ready for that.
And yeah, we are never ready for this kind of moments. But the thing is, I try my best. The best
Hmm.
I can do, as I said, it is to talk with them every day, say to them how much I love them, and that's it. You know,
That's cool, man.
that's it.
And like from here, I can say that you, Mayana, like your family is doing great, man. For everything that I follow there, I
Thank
know
you.
that you guys have like your struggle, like as
For
everyone had, like
sure, for
In
sure.
Brazil, US, like nowhere is perfect, right?
No,
Nowhere is
I
perfect.
say here is good, but it's not the heaven yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm gonna earning dollar. That would be like the greatest thing. I know that must be hard, but like
Remember, earn, you're gonna make some dollars, but you spend in dollar as well. You know,
exactly,
people think
exactly.
that because we are making dollar, it's easier for us to, you know, do something in Brazil or something like that. It's not easy at all because our expense is always in dollar as well.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
you're not bringing dollar to Brazil. Yeah,
know?
you're not bringing dollar to Brazil. Exactly.
No.
So congrats a lot for you, Mayara, for everything you guys achieved. Because I'm sure you're talking everything that we have talked to here today. Students that have commented, I'm sure that's not easy, and you guys are doing a great job. You have two kids. You know, Joaquin is going to school now. It's gonna be so great to him. The way that you guys encourage them, like now you guys have two, and pretty nice. Like then my artist wants you like want to study as well,
Yes,
going
for
to
sure.
college. So was so nice talk to you again because like it was year the last time that I talked to you. I think we were playing basketball. We were hooping together, you know,
Exactly.
years and years ago. And then I saw your picture on Instagram. You were like United States. So I was really happy for you. I'm really happy for you now for the English that you achieved. Like talk about like my background. You have a great English. So congrats for everything you've
Thank
done
you
for
so much.
yourself because learning English is an independence. If something happens, we really not. You are fluent in English. You are proficient in English. As you said, like when you're planning to mind, like if something happens, we come back to Brazil. The worst scenario we have proficiency in English.
Exactly.
So I know that in Brazil, especially in your area, that you have like you would have like lots of opportunities to work.
Mhm.
Talk about my perspective, but great English achieved, great family were there.
Thank you very much.
Congrats for the new job,
Thank you very
right?
much. That
That
was
was
also
amazing.
a dreams that just become true, you know?
Wow, well, when you said it, I say, wow, that's so nice. That's so nice.
Yeah,
And
that,
thank you guys for being with us in here. Follow Poon on Instagram there. I'm gonna mark you there for you guys follow there. Every day, like he posts things and encourage more people on Instagram to US, man, as you're doing. I think this is really cool. You
yes,
know,
for sure. Yeah, I have, you know, we are here in this plane, I mean, in the earth to try to help people, you know, and you are helping people by giving them the opportunity to learn English, you know, which will bring them to another stage, another level actually on their lives. So yeah, we are here for
help people's
serve,
life.
you know, to serve. We are here to serve.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
and yes, for sure. And anyone here that don't know me yet, feel free to text me through the Instagram,
Wow.
ask me some questions about the visa stuff, all those stuffs. You know, I'm really happy to answer all of you. Uh, if it's something that I really know, if it's something I don't know, I will try to find someone who knows and put you guys together to talk about it. But yeah, it is what it is.
People
Keep,
need
keep,
it.
keep yourself, motivated to learn this amazing language, which is English. Uh, as you guys watching here, if I will start to watch myself speaking, I will start to, oh, that time I could say that instead of that thing.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, it is not your native, it is not your mother language, you know. So that's okay. That's okay. Your brain all the time will try to correct you, but no worry. As
Exactly,
soon as
man.
you get yourself understandable, that's enough. I mean, for the first,
Yeah, like I think the first stage, like understand people and make people understand you,
yeah,
and going stuff.
yeah.
Amazing. Sir, thank you so much. We're gonna
You're
finish
welcome,
this talk.
Jason.
It was a great talk. I hope we
Thank
can
you
have
for
more
the
opportunities to
invitation.
talk.
Thank you
Oh,
very
it was amazing. I'm gonna watch this live at least like 2 or 3 times because I really like it. It was really good talk to you again, and let's keep in touch, okay, man?
for sure. Let's keep in touch.
And when I go there visit you, we're gonna hope together, okay?
A lot, for sure. There's a lot of place to go and
I
play
don't.
basketball around here.
I know. I don't know if I know some like I know a little. I think I remember some little, but then you take
Come
me
on,
some. You take me to the park. You take
you
me
will
to the
never
park.
forget that.
I
That's
don't know. I'm sure that I've forgotten so many things. But then you take me to the park, okay? You take me to the park.
yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for us in
Thank you
here.
very
It was a
much.
pleasure. Thank you
Thank
so much. And tomorrow night, be like on Friday, we're gonna have another one with Thaisa, okay, who also lives in US and she has an amazing background to share with us. All right. So Paul and everybody, thank you so much. Have a
thank
good
you,
one.
everybody. Thank you,
Take
Italo.
care.
God bless everyone here,
Amen.
and
Amen.
stay on the track. You know.
Exactly. I stand the track. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye, Pooh. Thank
Bye.
you, everybody. Take care.